Welcome to Wheel Wisdom, your ultimate pit stop for all things automotive. From in-depth car reviews to exploring the fascinating history of the auto industry, we bring you stories and insights that fuel your passion for wheels. In this video, we're diving into the world of the most controversial cars and historia models that sparked debate, drew criticism, and in many cases, failed spectacularly in the market. But we're not just looking at what went wrong, we'll also break down their reviews, specifications, design features, and what ultimately led to their downfall. Let's kick things off with the Pontiac Aztek, often regarded as one of the most polarizing vehicles ever built. With its odd proportions, awkward styling, and mismatched design elements, the Aztek was doomed from a visual standpoint. However, it wasn't all bad. Under the hood, it featured a 3.4-liter V6 engine producing 185 horsepower and had optional all-wheel drive via practical specs for its time. Inside, it was surprisingly functional, with a camping package, removable cooler, and a versatile cargo area. But it was the exterior design that killed it. Consumers couldn't get past the bizarre look, and it quickly became the poster child for automotive design gone wrong, ultimately hurting Pontiac's image and contributing to the brand's demise. Next on the list is the DeLorean DMC-12, a car immortalized by pop culture but plagued by real-world problems. The DeLorean's stainless steel body and gull-wing doors made it stand out visually, and it had a futuristic aura. Powered by a 2.85-liter V6 engine made in partnership with Peugeot, Renault, and Volvo, it only produced around 130 horsepower and not enough to match its sports car looks. Inside, the DeLorean had a minimalistic interior with leather upholstery and analog gauges, but build quality was inconsistent. Delays in production, financial troubles, and a high-profile scandal involving its founder all contributed to its commercial failure. Despite its iconic status today, at launch, the DMC-12 couldn't live up to the hype, and fewer than 9,000 units were ever made. The Edsel by Ford is another legendary failure. Launched in the late 1950s, it was marketed heavily as the future of American automobiles. However, the final product didn't align with consumer expectations. With awkward grille design, bloated proportions, and quality control issues, the Edsel became a symbol of marketing misjudgment. Ford invested millions into the brand, but it lacked a clear identity between Ford and Mercury, causing confusion. Engine options included a 303 horsepower 361 cubic inch V8, which was respectable, but it wasn't enough to save it. Interiors varied widely across trims, and quality varied even more. The recession, poor timing, and internal corporate politics ensured its downfall within just 3 years. Moving on, we have the Yugo GV, an Eastern European import that became infamous in the US during the 1980s. Priced incredibly cheap, the Yugo attracted budget-conscious buyers, but it came at the cost of quality and reliability. It featured a 1.1-liter four-cylinder engine that delivered just 55 horsepower, and the car's interior was basic to the point of discomfort. Controls were clunky, and materials felt fragile. The exterior design was boxy and uninspired. The Yugo suffered from frequent breakdowns, rust issues, and poor crash safety. It quickly gained a reputation as one of the worst cars ever sold in America, and sales plummeted. The brand never recovered from the ridicule it faced in media and by consumers alike. Then there's the Chrysler PT Cruiser, which received initial praise for its retro-inspired styling but later became a symbol of design fatigue. When it debuted in 2000, it was unique, combining hot rod cues with a compact MPV body. It had a variety of engines, including a 2.4-liter turbocharged variant producing up to 230 horsepower. The interior was spacious for its size and practical, with high seating and flexible cargo space. However, its polarizing design didn't age well, and performance didn't match its aggressive looks. Build quality issues, cheap interior materials, and lack of modernization led to declining sales. Although it had a cult following for a while, the PT Cruiser eventually became a joke among car enthusiasts, with its production ending in 2010. Let's not forget the Hummer H2, a behemoth that divided public opinion. Built on a modified Chevy truck platform, the H2 came with a 6.0-liter V8 producing 316 horsepower and massive off-road capabilities. It had a rugged exterior, militaristic styling, and an imposing road presence. Inside, it was more luxurious than one might expect, offering leather seats, a powerful sound system, and optional third-row seating. However, the H2's biggest flaw was its fuel economy. It guzzled gas at an alarming rate, delivering barely 10 miles per gallon. In an era increasingly conscious of environmental issues, the H2 became a symbol of excess and irresponsibility. Its massive size made it impractical for urban use, and criticism from environmental groups further tarnished its image. Eventually, the combination of economic downturn and shifting public attitudes toward sustainability led to the end of the Hummer brand in 2010, though it has since been revived in electric form. Another controversial entry is the Smart ForTwo. While the idea of a tiny city car with excellent fuel economy and easy parking seemed perfect for urban areas, its execution left much to be desired. The Smart ForTwo featured a small 3-cylinder engine with underwhelming power and a jerky automated manual transmission that many reviewers hated. Its short wheelbase led to an unstable feel on highways, and while it was easy to park, it wasn't much cheaper than larger, more practical cars. The interior was quirky but grand, and cargo space was very limited. Consumers eventually realized that the trade-offs for the size and novelty weren't worth it, especially when alternatives like the Honda Fit and Toyota Yaris offered more utility without sacrificing much in the way of efficiency. Now we turn our attention to the Fiat Multipla, a car widely mocked for its bizarre styling but appreciated by some for its interior versatility. The Multipla had a distinctive front end with 2 layers of headlights and a wide stance. Inside, it featured 3 front seats and a flat floor, making it surprisingly roomy and practical for families. Engine options included 1.6-liter petrol and 1.9-liter diesel engines with modest performance. However, its looks became a massive turnoff. Design jokes aside, the Multipla actually received praise for innovation and functionality, but the styling ultimately prevented it from gaining widespread popularity outside of a few niche markets. Another unusual case is the Lincoln Blackwood, a luxury pickup that didn't quite know what it wanted to be. Based on the Ford F-150, the Blackwood aimed to combine truck utility with limousine-like comfort. It came with a 5.4-liter V8 engine and a plush, leather-lined interior with high-end audio and navigation systems. However, it lacked 4-wheel drive and had a trunk-like bed covered by a permanently fixed hardtop cover, limiting its practicality as a pickup. It was expensive and confused consumers who wanted either full utility or full luxury, not a strange in-between. As a result, it was discontinued after just 1 model year due to poor sales. Finally, we have the Chevrolet SSR, a retro-styled convertible pickup that blended hot rod looks with questionable functionality. It featured a retractable hardtop, a 6.0-liter V8 engine producing up to 400 horsepower in later models, and a rear-wheel drive layout. While performance wasn't bad, its high price tag and niche appeal made it hard to justify. Interior quality was decent, but the vehicle's identity crises, a part convertible, part truck, part muscle car, left most buyers confused. It looked unique but lacked practical use, and with sales never meeting expectations, it was discontinued after just a few years. These controversial cars each came with their own blend of innovation, poor execution, or simply bad timing. Some were ahead of their time, others were out of touch with what the market wanted. What they all share, however, is a place in automotive history as reminders that even the biggest brands can miss the mark. Whether it was design choices, marketing blunders, performance shortcomings, or changing societal values, these vehicles stirred up conversation and in some cases, became infamous in the process. If you love deep dives like this into automotive history, make sure to subscribe to Wheel Wisdom. We bring you compelling stories from the world of cars past, present, and future. Hit that like button, leave a comment on your favorite controversial car, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a shift.